There will be necessary setbacks and tribulations on the journey of life. Setbacks.
Septembre 2006-2022.
There are different levels of life. The more perfect a life is, that life will be in the higher level space, and the more flawed a life is, that life will be in the lower level space. We are reincarnated into the world because we have flawed lives. If flawed lives want to return to the high-level life space, they need to go through some necessary setbacks and tribulations. The so-called flawed life mainly refers to the life with debts. Whether these debts are in heaven or on earth, they must be repaid. This is stipulated and restricted by the law of the combination of positive and negative energies of the universe is zero, from which we understand that in the lifetime of a human, his main task is to pay off his debts. After the debt is paid off, he will return to heaven. If his debt is not paid off, he must continue to reincarnate in the world. If he not only fails to pay off his debt but also owes more debt, he has to go to live in a space that is lower than that of a human being. The life structure of human beings is born with the function of selfishness. If the life does not have the function of selfishness, it will live forever in heaven. Due to selfishness, it is very difficult for people to repay debts, so Tao arranged some setbacks and tribulations for people to repay debts with. This is determined by the fairness of Tao. So what we need to understand is, there will be necessary setbacks and tribulations on the journey of life. As the saying goes, as we live in the complications of the human world, we have to adapt ourselves to changing circumstances, which means that 8 or 9 out of 10 things in life we encountered are unsatisfactory, and only 1 or 2 out of 10 things make us happy. When living to the age of 60 or 70, 70 or 80, and reminiscing about the imprints of the past years, people will often sigh and have regrets. In fact, this is a very normal phenomenon. Even if one can start all over again, there will still be a lot of unsatisfactory things that occur. Setbacks and tribulations are unavoidable, because that is the fair arrangement of Tao. Who wants to be a pig? The problem is not whether you want to or not, but if you have to be a pig. When a person owes a huge amount of debt, and he cannot repay the debt at all with conventional ways, then it will be arranged for him to be a pig, to dedicate his blood, meat, bones and fur, and even to go under a knife to repay his debt, so he can return to the world to be a human again. Everything in the world is a constant. No matter how big or small a circle is, from a small one like the eye of a needle, to the large one that encompasses an eternal. Flowers bloom and wither, and the tide rises and falls. The moon tells us that there is only one full moon in a month, and the waning of the moon is a regular phenomenon. Therefore, in the face of tribulations and setbacks, we must maintain a calm mind, and even maintain a joyful mind, because that is repaying debts. Borrowing debts is easy and to repay them is difficult. Debt repayment is painful, but no matter how frustrations and tribulations are almost inevitable, but they can be reduced to the point where you can bear them. The best way to alleviate setbacks and tribulations is to generate merits, and the best way to generate merits is to give and dedicate selflessly. There is no other way. If someone makes you unhappy, and that is also a tribulation.
零的频率解析零是生命之源。
Analysis of spiritual frequency. Spirit is the source of life. Setbacks. May 24, 2023. Edited by Qin Yu. We often mention soul, spiritual power, spiritual perception, mind, and spirituality. We also talk about being skillful, having telepathy, spiritual resonance, being spiritually gifted, miraculous remedies, stubborn and unyielding, suffering of living beings. So, what exactly is spirit? Spirit is a vibrational wave, a type of wave that encompasses all conscious activities of living beings. Since it is a wave, it has a frequency which refers to the number of occurrences per second. An event that happens once per second is called 1 Hz. If the vibrations of a living being occur less than 20 times or more than 20,000 times per second, the human ear cannot perceive the sound of those vibrations. For example, a butterfly's wings vibrate only 5 to 6 times per second, so we cannot hear the sound of a butterfly flying. However, the vibrations of bees, flies, and mosquitoes occur at frequencies of 320, 352, and 640 respectively, which enables us to hear the sound of their flight. The structure of all objects is determined by different vibrational frequencies. The higher the frequency, the more complex the structure. The higher the frequency, the more intangible it becomes. Perfect art, such as the beauty of the human body, is also a manifestation of vibrational frequencies. The higher the vibrational frequency during pregnancy, the more beautiful the physical appearance of the children. We can observe that different frequencies lead to different material forms, and the frequency of spirit leads to different conscious forms of life. Therefore, the acceptance of specific spiritual frequencies is closely related to the formation of our own life structure. So, which spiritual frequencies should we accept and which should we reject? Since spirit is a type of vibrational wave, it must have a frequency. When I was in my homeland, the 1,000-year world, the frequencies we received there were all a kind of sound from nature. Of course, that sound is different in nature from the sounds of nature on earth. That sound, or rather frequency, is the frequency of the greatest creator, which is the spirit of the greatest creator. Since spirit is a vibrational wave, the greatest creator's vibrational waves permeate all space and time in the universe. Therefore, we can confidently say that all things have spirit. Not only do plants and animals have spirit, but mountains, rivers, stones, and houses also have spirit. Therefore, we have discovered that everything has a spirit. In our daily lives, we not only receive the spirits from God, but also receive a multitude of spirits from plants, animals, mountains, rivers, and supernatural beings. Unfortunately, in most cases, what people receive is not the spirit from God, but rather the spirits of human beings themselves and a large number of the wronged and aggrieved, and even the spirits of arrogant beings from higher realms. These spirits have a significant destructive impact on the structure of our lives, unless we distance ourselves from these spirits and return to the embrace of nature. The sounds in nature are not specifically referring to the sounds of wind, rain, bird chirping, frog croaking, thunder, or ocean waves. Instead, they refer to sounds with frequencies lower than 20 Hz, such as the sounds of plant growth, blooming, heartbeat, and the movement of white clouds. We know that infrasound is harmful to the human body. When the frequency of external object vibrations resonates with the frequency of our body vibrations, it can damage our internal organs and even the nervous system. However, it is evident that the sounds of plant growth and blooming, which are infrasound, not only do not harm our health but actually contribute to our well-being. This is a very subtle phenomenon. Some infrasounds are harmful, even fatal to our health, while others are highly beneficial. I have also discovered a phenomenon where infrasound at 1 Hz actually resonates with the human heart's rhythm, yet it has no harmful effects on the body. This is difficult for me to explain, and perhaps scientists in the relevant field can provide a clear explanation. Now, here comes the central mystery. The frequency of the greatest creator spirit happens to be 1 Hz, and only waves at this frequency can penetrate all dimensions of the universe. The optimal frequency for the human heart's rhythm is also 1 Hz, or 60 beats per minute. This should create a resonance, but this resonance phenomenon does not cause harm to the human body. This is a mystery that I find difficult to unravel. However, we can draw inspiration from the ticking sound of an alarm clock in a bedroom. The frequency of the alarm clock aligns with the rhythm of the heart, and it does not cause any resonance that harms the body. Therefore, the frequency of greatest creator's spirit does not harm the human body due to resonance with the frequency of the heart. Now let's analyze which frequencies are beneficial or harmful to human life. Scientists have discovered that for plants, sound at a frequency of 6,000 Hz is most favorable for their growth. Sound frequencies between 700 and 900 Hz can hinder plant growth, and frequencies above 10,000 Hz can lead to the complete death of plants. Scientists have conducted experiments and found that the frequencies ranging between 2,000 and 400 Hz produce the most unbearable sounds. However, our judgment is not based on frequencies alone, but rather on our own subjective perception. The sound of dragging an iron shovel on concrete is undeniably unpleasant. Sudden screams, car horns, arguments, noise, crying, complaints, grievances, hoarse shouting, painful moans, desperate cries, and various other sounds also cause discomfort to individuals. In the end, we can roughly establish a clue. Any sound that brings happiness, excitement, joy, serenity, tranquility, contentment, comfort, pleasure, freedom, and blessedness is beneficial to mental and physical health. On the other hand, sounds that cause discomfort, irritability, anxiety, fear, depression, melancholia, restlessness, and pain are detrimental to our well-being. The conclusion is that the frequency of spirits is 1 Hz, and the waves of spirits permeate all time and space in the universe. This leads to the belief that everything has a spirit, and all the spirits of life and objects come from the spirit of the greatest creator. Once this spirit disappears, life ceases to exist. The strength of the spirit is related to the sounds a life form hears. More joyful sounds result in stronger spirits, while more disturbing sounds weaken the spirit. The spirit is the source of life, and humans themselves are without spirits. The human spirit comes from the greatest creator, and the vitality of the human spirit comes from consciousness. Pure and orderly consciousness makes a person spirited, with spiritual energy, perception, and spirituality. They become agile, flexible, resourceful, and talented. On the other hand, if consciousness is chaotic and disordered, a person becomes sluggish, dull, unresponsive, clumsy, lacking perception, and lacking understanding. All spirits of life come from the greatest creator, so what about the so-called evil spirits? This question will be explored in a separate analysis. In conclusion, spirits are the source of all things and the source of life, with a frequency of 1 Hz.
灵是生命之源。
Spirit is the source of life. Jiefeng. May 28, 2023. Niwa used clay to create humans and breathed life into them with a single breath. This is, of course, a mythological legend without scientific basis or empirical support. However, it is enlightening in understanding the concept of spirit. The people created by Niwa are nothing more than a pile of earthly materials. It is only when the breath is blown in that the soil is transformed into living beings with spirituality. The breath blown in represents the spirits. In other words, it is the infusion of spiritual energy into the physical bodies that turns them into living organisms. In reality, things are not as simple as that. However, one thing is certain. Any material without the input of spirit cannot become a living entity. We often say, water is the source of life. Water is crucial for humans, animals, plants, insects, and microorganisms on Earth. Without water, these life forms cannot survive, so water is considered the source of life. However, some viruses, fungi, aphid, nematodes, diatoms, and red algae can survive without water. There are countless souls that can exist without water. In fact, all forms of non-material life can survive without water. Even Zen Master Bodhidharma, who achieved enlightenment, survived for 9 years without eating or drinking. There are supernatural phenomena such as manifestation of Bodhisattva, manifestation of Buddha, manifestation of ancestors, and possession. Undoubtedly, those who manifest do not need to drink water to survive. Thus, we can conclude that water is not the source of life. Modern science has delved into the microcosmic world, reaching a realm without fundamental particles. Since fundamental particles do not exist, string theory has emerged with vibration at its core. Vibrations give rise to the diverse forms and movements of the material world, from fundamental particles to celestial bodies. The driving force behind the universe and the changes in the world is the vibration of the strings. Now the question arises, where do the strings come from? Who plays the vibrations of the strings? Is it the Big Bang? Certainly not. That is just speculation or conjecture, not much different from mythological legends. When I explain the origin of the universe, I have already revealed the birth of the greatest creator. If one does not believe in this, we can still logically infer the existence of the greatest creator through facts. Just look at the airplane, ship, and car you are currently traveling in, and look at the computer, mobile phone, and microwave you use. From the smallest utensil like a needle to the house you live in and the city, which one doesn't have a creator? Any product we use has one or dozens or even thousands of creators, and these creators of the products are humans. From this, we can understand that in the vast world we encounter, which one doesn't have a creator? Even our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, hair, bones, organs, and everything else were consciously created. And the creator of all these things is the greatest creator. Therefore, we can conclude that it is the greatest creator who plays the vibrations of the strings, just as humans control a spacecraft in the universe. How does the greatest creator play the vibrations of the strings? The answer is, the heartbeat of the greatest creator is the vibration of the microcosmic strings, not deliberately played but similar to how the human heart pumps blood to deliver vital nutrients to every cell, keeping them alive. Now we must ask, what exactly is the string that physicists talk about? What kind of existence is it? The answer is, the string is spirit, a transcendent existence. For matter, spirit is a vibrational wave that propels the world's motion, development, and changes. For life, spirit is the energy input that causes the heart to beat, and this input is also carried out through the vibration of spirit. Thus, we discover that spirit is the source of life. Once the input of this energy called spirit is cut off, life dies instantly. Regarding the analysis of spirit, there are 3 articles in total. The first one is an analysis of the frequencies of spirit. The second one is spirit as the source of life. And the third one is the classification and application of spirit.